Yeah, it's the Jose Mourinho tabloid show. He's everywhere. This is basically on just about him. Obviously, that they need to get a new central defender. Obviously, they're in for a number of them, Maguire being in particular. But the big thing is obviously about Anthony Martial, obviously heading home for the wife, the birth of the second baby.
Yeah.
And we've seen it. It's mentioned obviously in the Sun. It's here in the Irish Daily Mail saying, I've no regrets. Martial says it's family first, Jose, and Jose would obviously believe that United is family. So which family is it?
That's it. Like it's pre-season Jose. It does feel that when Jose heard that Anthony Martial was about to go home, Jose was like rubbing his hands. And he's brilliant opportunity for me to get those daggers out and stab my player in the back via the press, as he tends to do. No point giving him a call saying, I'm pissed off with you, Anthony. No point, even like setting up a Twitter account under an anonymous pseudonym and tweeting Anthony Martial would have been better than doing this via the press. It just seems so needless, bringing, I don't want to go as far as to say that Jose wanted to bring Martial's family into this, but ultimately that's what he's done. Ultimately, he has made this quite a personal, sensitive topic for Anthony Martial to deal with. And, it's a bit different to the Luke Shaw situation now. I think Jose kind of feels that Shaw's kind of come back around now and he's had control. He's controlled that situation in the end.
Yeah.
Whereas with Martial, he plays in a position which makes him a highly valuable player. He plays in a position where he's a highly famous player. He's not as injury prone as Luke Shaw is. There is far more of a possibility that Anthony Martial just turns around to Jose and says "F you" and leaves.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think Jose will probably turn this around, but there is every chance that it doesn't happen.
Do you think so?
I do think that there is.
He's gone.
Who knows? There is, as I said, there's every chance that you're right here. I do feel that at this point, with the transfer window closing next week, it's just a little bit late for Martial to now leave. And who knows? Maybe Jose's words are actually having an impact on him. Maybe Anthony Martial, still a young guy, is waking up this morning thinking, God, was I right to go see the birth of my second child?
Well, but I think the you hit the nail on the head with the control thing. That is obviously his main thing. In all of these situations, and even when the stuff where he's talking about the trip to the States, he's saying people shouldn't even bother to come. Fans shouldn't bother to come watch these games. They're absolutely putrid. To a fan base that obviously the owners are trying to push United and sell kit and everything else. And he's basically, you have the main manager saying, I don't know why people are wasting their money coming to watch this because it's just dire stuff. It's so, he seems to want to obviously control every situation. So obviously they need a big signing. And it isn't happening for him. And I'd say he's saying, right, I'm going to throw the dummies out of the pram here a little bit, just to kind of give someone a kicking. So people will go, Jose is in bad form, maybe we need to kind of appease him. He just seems to have that cold thing, it seems to be, it's nearly childish, to a certain degree. It's like a toddler having a tantrum.
But it's a club with a problem if the board is trying to appease the manager.
That's very true.
Is there any other board who appeases the manager to such an extent? The only other examples I can think of is Jose at previous clubs, and even then it never really happened on that level. Roman Abramovich didn't take any of his shit. He was just get out whenever it got to this sort of level. So it's very hard to think in modern football, that is. Obviously back in the day the manager was the man and the board kind of bowed to his every word. But nowadays the board wields such power at all these super clubs that listening to that from their manager and actually taking it and not getting rid of him and not having a serious discussion is a sign of weakness from Ed Woodward's point of view.
It is, but at the same time, he ultimately he seems to do this wherever he goes. So the ultimate breakdown is either with the team or with the board.
Yeah.
It's never with himself. So he's never to blame. So he always says, "Well, so I was either pushed or exactly, yeah." So there's someone getting it. And maybe United have kind of literally said, well, okay, they understand that they have a personality who is nearly, to a certain degree, he is the person, he's the fulcrum, he's the head part of the team. And to be fair, Mourinho does during the season, he deflects a lot of stuff from the team. He takes an awful lot of crap, I suppose, and nearly brings it on himself, to a large degree. You don't find too much being written. Of course you get a lot being written about the team, but you don't find as much being written about players on a specific basis unless he highlights the type of player.
Sure.
He takes an awful lot of himself on himself, and he's talking about himself, and he's talking about himself in the third person and all this kind of crack. And it seems to be that he is a kind of a lightning rod. And maybe there's something else going on that the actual, the board are saying, well, listen, we're okay with him being the lightning rod of this.
Yeah.
It's a different type of scenario than when Ferguson was there. Obviously, there was a different type of control, but there could be similarities to a certain degree on it. But he's I can't believe he's that stupid. And he isn't a stupid man, that he just comes out with this kind of stuff to just fly off the handle. There has to be ulterior motives going on all over.
There has to be. Whether or not you can call it method to the madness, I'm not sure if you can give him that much credit, but he certainly thinks he's doing the intelligent thing here.